Okay, good day everyone. We're back in Lamplight City. Last time we got put on this final case, well, I say final case, I assume it's the final case. Well, we've worked out that all of these justice killings are actually the same dude from the flower shop, who we believe is responsible for Bill's death. Let's have a look at our casebook. The current case, the Justice Killer. There is no doubt that the serial murderer known as the Justice Killer and the flower shop burglar are one and the same. It's time to track him down and bring him to justice. Find the Justice Killer, investigate Percival McDonough's house at the Houses of Parliament. Blue suspects. Right. Okay, so Hannibal Kirkland is 32, single gunshot to the head. Occupation, ironworker at Four Bum Ironworks. Summary. Police found Kirkland in his home after his foreman reported Kirkland's absence from work. Apart from the word justice written in blood, nothing unusual was found at the crime scene, and no witnesses came forward. Investigation into Kirkland's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Reggie Willingham, he is 47, again single gunshot to the head. Cabby, police found Willingham in his home after a missing persons report was filed by his employer. Crime scene was inspected, but aside from the word justice written on the wall in blood, nothing unusual was found. No witnesses came forward, and the investigation into Willingham's personal life and habits revealed nothing of interest. Enos Bodbowditch, 29. Single gunshot to the head. Construction worker at Gascoigne. Police found Bowditch in his home after his employer contacted police. Crime scene showed some signs of modus operandi of the so-called Justice Killer, but no other leads or clues were found. No witnesses came forward. Investigation and questioning of Bowditch's co-worker and former lady friend provide fruitless. Burley Cause, 26. Single gunshot wound to the head. Lamplighter working on Central Lamp Depot. Douglas Parsons discovered cause in his home. Officer Douglas Parsons discovered cause in his home after a report of a gunshot was made by neighbour Ethel Williamson. I'm not sure I understand that sentence, but I understand it, but it's written not great. Parsons surveyed the scene and found the word justice written in blood, but no other leads or clues were found. Investigation into causes, personal life and habits produced no further clues or leads. Okay. And the newspaper. Have we read this? Not sure. Gascoigne Spiritualist. Okay, let's go with let's cover this one on the right first. Gascoigne Spiritualist arrested for fraud. Angela Maxwell, the leader of a spiritualist group in Gascoigne known as the Spectre Society, was arrested yesterday on charges of fraud after an extensive undercover operation by New Britain police discovered that she was exploiting her clients and robbing them of their money. Detective Lester Barnett attended several meetings under an assumed name, during which he observed Miss Maxwell's ruse. She would claim that the client was cursed, then offered healing services for a fee. The clients would then pay exorbitant amounts of money over a period of time to be cured. A representative of the New Britain Police offered this warning: "We urge the public to be extremely wary of anyone claiming to be able to communicate with spirits of or deceased loved ones. In reality, they often prey on the grief-stricken and vulnerable. Tragic election night murder remains unsolved. Oh, this is because of that stupid being locked out. Anyway, Ronan Espierre, an employee of Griscombe Taxidermy Shop, was murdered outside the Silent Raven pub in Columbundary on election night. As of this writing, no arrests have been made. New Britannia police are encouraging anyone with information to contact them. L'Espée was found outside the pub wearing clothes which were reportedly not his, and according to witnesses had been seen prior to his death acting odd. He also reportedly never went to Columbundary, making the circumstances surrounding his death even more mysterious. L'Espée was described by his sister as full of life and an avid fan of books and travel. Although Mr. L'Espée himself had apparently never left Vespuccia, contributions to pay for Mr. L'Espée's funeral expenses are being accepted. Continued on page 8. Citizens fear mass murderer. The general mood around New Britannia is one of caution and fear, especially in Columbundary. 4 victims have so far been claimed by the so-called justice killer, with no apparent motive or link between them. That's what makes it so frightening, said Columbundary resident Simon Banks. You have no idea who's going to be next. It's gotten to the point where I stopped sweeping chimneys before sundown. When reached for comment, the New Britannia police offered no new information, but encouraged citizens to remain vigilant and avoid answering their doors for strangers. Rumours of a nightly curfew have been swirling, but no confirmation has been given. Anyone with information regarding the identity of the killers is strongly encouraged to contact the New Britannia police. Atwood under fire for alleged couping scheme. More controversy has emerged after Hart Leroy's landslide victory against Herbert Atwood, as accusations of a pro-Atwood couping scheme have emerged. Allegedly, Atwood's campaign hired men to find suspecting victims, ply them with alcohol, and then force them to vote multiple times in disguise in order to increase Atwood's chances of re-election. Doesn't this sound like this? Why he would be acting odd and not be in his own clothes. Anyway, Atwood's chances of re-election. The victims were kept in a small room referred to as a coop and forced to change clothes several times in order to vote repeatedly. Once they served their purpose, victims were left in back alleys around the city, dazed and confused. Despite the efforts, it was not enough to secure Atwood's victory. The information comes from the alleged leader of a couping gang who agreed to talk. Continued on page 10. Jesus.
Mostly cookbooks. Yeah, at least you won't have to worry about starving while you're staying here. Therein lies Upton's boudoir. As a matter of respect, the less said the better, I think.
So I remember we didn't manage to save Upton. She still lost her job. But perhaps we can get it back by solving this case. Right, okay, so what we got? We got House of Parliament, we got police station, Central Lamp Depot, Colson Cab Depot, British construction site, and 4 bomb ironworks. So these 4 are like where the jobs of those people were. Obviously the police station is the police station. Not sure why we can go to the House of Parliament yet, but I'm sure that will become apparent.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
Just started.
Some headway.
What?
Is that right?
Are we?
I certainly hope so for your sake.
Well, I mean, that's not true at all, but alright.
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water. The rumor was all...
Whoops.
Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader. Every book and file in there is organized to perfection. I'll bet Snelling gets flustered if anything is even a millimeter out of place. You should bump into the side when he's not looking.
Right, let's go talk to him.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
What information do you have on the Justice Killer?
Clearly not as much as you.
I see how this is gonna go.
Well, what do you have?
A list of 5 victims, some information on each of them, and no clear idea what connects them. Until your discovery of the lily at each scene, that was where we stood. While I doubt this discovery will do much to aid in tracking him down, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Do you know anything about Percival McDonough?
He's a member of Parliament. I believe his constituency is somewhere in central Kingsland. From the reports I've gotten, McDonough led a rather unassuming life for a politician. He is, however, the first victim who didn't live in Chumley. Either there's a link we've missed, or the killer is changing his method. Then again, since you seem so confident in your abilities to resolve this matter, I assume you'll provide an explanation.
Count on it. What do you know about the Justice Killer's previous victims?
Only what's in their files. All working men from Chumley. That's the only link.
You didn't look further into their personal lives? Maybe they had some social connection.
As I said, the detectives found nothing. You seem to think you can do better, so I'll leave it up to you.
You have to wonder how much more thorough the department's investigations would have been if the 4 men were all rich like McDonough.
So I see the department is still running like a well-oiled machine.
It is, in fact, but I'm sure Upton has kept you well informed of our activities. Incidentally, the woman accused in the Harris kidnapping is set to testify in court today.
Linda
Okay.
Walker's trial is today? That was fast.
Indeed. Sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly. Sometimes they spin out of control. She'll be taking the stand within the hour. If you care to hear her for yourself, best get going soon.
Ooh, okay.
Listen, about Leger's death.
I don't want to hear it, Fordham. What happened, happened. Nothing you can say is going to change my opinion on the matter.
And if I manage to find the man responsible?
The man responsible is standing before me. Even if you manage to find the culprit you let escape, it isn't going to bring Leger back from the dead.
But it will bring closure to the matter.
If that thought is what allows you to sleep at night, then so be it.
What makes him think you sleep at night?
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do, and I'd honestly rather not know about them.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes, time is not on your side, Fordham.
Right, let's have a look at that new objective. Attend Linda Walker's trial. Oh, hang on. That's why we've got to go to his office at the House of Parliament. That's why it's available. Okay. Right, let's get out of here. Okay. Okay, all saved up. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's listen to the trial.
Remind me, Miles, why are we here again? Is this for your own personal satisfaction, or did you expect her to have some useful information?
Shh. Mrs. Linda Walker, you stand accused of kidnapping Charles Harris. What have you to say in your defense?
I had to see if I could speak with my son Alexander again.
Yes. According to your initial statement, you seem to believe that the Harris child is the reincarnation of your own deceased son.
All the evidence was there. I thought it had to be him.
And in regards to the execution of your plan, you secretly administered a soporific drug to your friend and the Harris family nanny, Mrs. Henrietta Davis? Is that correct?
Yes. I felt terrible about doing it, but there was no other way.
According to your journal, you used a mixture of chamomile and valerian, instructed by a Samuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Samuel is a friend of mine. He works at the docks, and he knows all about plants. I asked him what the best combination of herbs would be to put someone in a deep sleep.
So it was your idea, and not his?
Yes, that's right. He only told me about the plants. He's quite the expert. Why, you should see his collection of Easter lilies.
Did she just say what I think she said?
Now then, let's turn our attention to the night in question.
Oh.
Interesting. This Samuel person might be worth looking into. Although we can't waste time searching the docks with just a first name. I'd make a note of it, just in case it becomes relevant later.
Okay.
Alright, I've had enough of this courtroom. Let's get back out there. Time's running out.
Okay, so Samuels could be our culprit. Let's have a look at the casebook. Clues. Linda Walker's testimony. At her trial, Linda Walker mentioned a friend named Samuel who worked at the docks and helped her figure out which plants could drug someone. Okay, so when we go to the docks, actually I don't think that's either any of these, is it? No. Okay. Well, never mind. What? Oh, he's dead. Whoops.
Brings you to this delightful spectacle.
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
I thought he was asleep, that's why I laughed. I was like, lol, and he's standing there. Nope, he's dead.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
Probably blood. I mean, don't know.
Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous in here.
Actually, there is no Easter lily here, is there? Or at least not one I can see.
The former Percival McDonough, being a good politician.
Ah, so October's been ripped out.
Nothing has been written in yet for next month. Curious.
And nothing's been written in for next month. Okay.
The former
Nope. I was just wondering if, second time you inspect the body, it lets you do something else.
Some political theory. I might die of boredom. Again. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office.
Right,
Got
Dr.
a moment,
Edwards.
Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Lots, but let's start with the crime scene.
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
What?
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit. Anyway, there was also the word justice written in blood, as you can see on the floor there.
Is that all?
What more do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the Justice Killer.
What did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Okay. We can, wonder if we can use his chemical table to work it out.
Did the police manage to learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the Grieving Widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
Easter
Did you
lily.
find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The Justice Killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Well, be sure to let me know if you do figure it out. The thought process of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
The Justice Killer.
What's your take on this whole Justice Killer situation?
It's giving me a lot of extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Ah, yes. Gascon Ghoul. Now, there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process, I don't care where I am. Though I do admit a preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain. There's so much more potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about groping everything. Present company excluded, of course.
That's all for now, Edwards.
Good luck with your investigation.
No time to waste with further conversation right now. You've got a killer to find.
Fair enough. Okay. No Easter Lily. Oh, I should have taken a look at the paper. Can I do it here? Yeah, I can. Yeah, okay. A blank piece of paper found in Percival McDonald's pocket. Actually, we didn't find. Oh, we can go to his residence now. Let's see if we can find this Lily. See if it's around here somewhere.
Leave it to Apollo.
No, I thought maybe like moving the. I would imagine it'd be on display though. It's not as if it's hidden in any of the others.
Nothing but a bunch of
Okay, never mind. Right, let's go to his residence, shall we?
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough.
Okay, I took a short break and I've saved it. Let's go.
I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs. McDonough. I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want from me, Mr. Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my husband's murder.
I just have a few questions of my own.
Oh, very well.
Right, okay.
What can you tell me about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham. Percival was one of the hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The recent election caused him a terrible amount of consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather hard.
Did you see much of him?
I beg your pardon?
Surely someone with such an important position in government could find themselves consumed by their work. Did he spend much time at home?
He made it a point to come home and have dinner with me every night, even if he had to return to the office afterwards.
And did that happen often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any enemies?
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham. Half the city hated him.
Did he ever receive any kind of threats against his life?
None that I was ever made aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his office to do it. He hadn't told me about any meetings or appointments this week either.
Was it his custom to inform you of his work affairs?
Oh, well, I've always taken an interest in my husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
Why is that?
Well, it's just a bridge, isn't it? There are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
I meant, why was he opposed to it?
Oh, because the amount of money required to build it is exorbitant. Public funds should be used on roads and buildings that are falling apart. What's the point of having something shiny and new if everything around it is in disrepair?
Yeah, I mean...
How are you feeling, Mrs. McDonough?
My husband of 42 years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Well,
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you do it?
My apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely terrifying to think that one sick person could be capable of such evil. Why is he called the Justice Killer? What justice was done by murdering my husband?
I'm afraid I can't answer that right now, Mrs. McDonough, but I intend to find out. Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
okay. That's
Just a painting of some boring old aristocrat. Surely this one was called Lady Felicity Euphemia Beaversnatch the Simple.
okay.
Lord Alfred Edward Shufflebottom the Wise comes to mind when looking at this one. This one looks like a Lady Camilla Prudence Wigglewaddle the Grey. I think I'll call this one Lord Edmund Henry Lickspittle the Elder. They look expensive, but I bet they're totally worthless. I feel sorry for the sucker who has to clean them.
Well, they're called knickknacks. Guess that just means stuff, basically.
They look expensive, but I bet
Yeah.
they look expensive.
Okay, fair enough. Is there nothing else? No. Okay. Right, so. Oh, we've already done that, but.
Probably best.
Yeah, right, so I probably need to come back to her with something. Okay, so. Next place. Let's go back to the police station actually and speak to.
No need to talk to him. Just
Oh,
thank God.
okay. I thought we did, but I guess not. Alright, let's go from left to right, shall we? Thornbrook Ironworks.
Well, that doesn't look good.
No, it looks like it exploded.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
Okay, that's Hannibal
Can you tell me
Kirkland.
about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
Okay.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound, checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage, then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine. If you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
He does,
See
yeah.
what I can do.
Okay. No objective.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
A who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that was all about? I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice to see the lines of communication here are wide open.
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them.
Oh,
And then
nice.
there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear, one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Oh, that sounded like a threat, but alright. Doesn't appear to be much else here. Oh, what are you doing?
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing.
Okay. So somebody with mechanical expertise, I guess. Okay, well actually that's where we're going to call it for this first part of this last case. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed. Have a good day everyone. Hopefully speak to you soon. Bye.